So most students think that marketing is about communication and advertising, but that's a huge misconception. So normally in the first days of my courses, so consumer psychology, marketing research, principles of marketing, I always ask the students, what is marketing, right? And normally they say things like marketing is about putting a product out there, communication, marketing is advertisement. But again, that's a huge misunderstanding. Marketing, my friend, is the process of understanding people's needs and developing solutions, so products, services, experience that provides value for them. And this happens way before anything is even sold. So, if marketing is the process of understanding people's needs and developing solutions that have value, how do we understand people's needs? Traditionally, that is done through market research. So, we collect data either through exploratory studies or descriptive studies, and we try to understand what are the unfulfilled needs, what are their wants, what are their complaints. So, that is done either through traditional methods like online focus groups or in depth interviews or surveys, most recently by tracking metadata online from users and trying to understand their online behaviors. What are they writing? What are they clicking on? What are the websites that they're visiting? So you can derive a lot of insights either through traditional research methods or through more advanced research methods. And there are amazing AI tools, by the way, that can scrape data online and run sentiment analysis, topic analysis. Anyway, I'm probably going to discuss this in more detail in other videos, but there are many different methods through which you can collect data and understand what people's needs are. So after understanding people's needs, you need to come up with something that provides value, right? I'm going to save the explanation of what value is to another video because I'd like to discuss this in more detail. But really briefly, value is like is the result of a mental judgment that we make between two things. Between the bundle of benefits that we get from an offer, so everything that a product has to give us in terms of actual product and augmented product, so everything that it contains in relation to what we need to give for it. So obviously how much it costs, but also the risks that are involved, the amount of effort that we need to put in the decision making. So when we combine everything that we get from an offer in relation to what we need to give for that offer, if we like that balance, then we see value. And the way to create value, the main tools that marketers have to create value are those traditional elements of the marketing mix. So the product, the price, the place, and promotion. And obviously, if you're talking about services or experiences, you have your additional piece of people, process, and physical environment. But the idea is if you actually develop a solution that provides real value, consumers are going to experience that product, they're going to consume that product, and they're going to be satisfied. And if they are satisfied, you're going to build a long-lasting relationship. So you have a very straightforward rationale, which is understanding people's needs, coming up with a solution that provides value. Consumers are going to consume, and if they are satisfied, you're going to build a long-lasting relationship. This is how it works. So a good way to see this in practice is to look at a brand like, for example, Patagonia. So Patagonia was founded in 1973 by Ivan Choynard. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, by the way. Ivan was a climber ever since he was a teenager. He really loved the outdoors, and then he started developing small equipments for climbing. That got traction. People really liked what he was doing. He started expanding, developing in the back of his parents' home. Long story short, the company really evolved, is now in over 45 countries with over 100 owned stores. And probably you know Patagonia now more because of their clothing, like their winter jackets and their t-shirts and fleece and what's or not, potentially even more than their equipments. But if you think about it, what problem do they actually solve? So essentially, they are addressing the consumer group that wants to experience the outdoor in a sustainable way, in a way that respects the environment. So their clothing and all of their equipments should be produced in a way which is equally sustainable, that is ethical as much as it can be, but it is also functional. In other words, that it keeps people warm when they are in cold temperatures, that is comfortable in warm temperatures, that is long lasting, that is safe, that allows them to do the activities outdoors like climbing or going down ropes. And if they do this, if they combine functionality, quality, long lasting, but also in a way which is ethical, which is sustainable, and that respects the environment, then they are addressing the true needs of that particular consumer group. So if you go in their environment, they're very open about it. Yeah. And that's what I appreciate actually. So they discuss their social responsibility programs, the materials and the environmental programs that they're involved, the fact that they're really trying to invest in renewable energy. So, for example, in the end of last year, they reached 98% of renewable energy. They also have a really interesting campaign called Worn Wear, where you can return your used clothing to Patagonia and they'll refurbish it and sell it secondhand. So again, what value do they understand? They understand people who live this outdoor experience, who are really into this outdoor experience. They have a connection with the natural environment and they don't want to cause a negative impact on the environment. And that's exactly why they focus on so many of these initiatives. So as you can see, this is much more than communication. This is much more than advertisement. This is actually what marketing is understanding people's needs and coming up with a solution that actually tackles those needs. And this is why consumers of Patagonia tend to be so loyal, because it resonates with the brand. They purchase the product and they say, this actually addresses how I think and how I feel. Obviously that there are limitations. You cannot have a clothing brand producing at a global scale and be 100% sustainable. This is not what I mentioned here, yeah? What I mentioned is about addressing the rationale of a consumer group, trying to be open about your process, trying to be honest about the process, and trying to show exactly where you would like to work on and trying to think outside the box. This is why the concept of Patagonia works. And this is what makes it such a great marketing case. So briefly, what this example shows is that marketing is not about who screams the loudest. It's not about the one who has the loudest message. It's about the one who effectively addresses consumer needs. And this idea of understanding people's needs and in addressing through value creation has not always been the same. So when we study marketing, we try to understand how marketing has evolved. We have to look at the evolution of marketing. So for example, there's a quote which I really like from Henry Ford, because in 1908, Henry Ford launched the Model T, right? And there's a classic quote from the time when he said, "You can buy the Model T in any color as long as it's black." The reason for this is because at that time, marketing was at a stage called the production concept stage. The idea is optimize production to reduce costs and make the product more accessible. Because at that time, Henry Ford understood very clearly that people had the need to get from A to B fast and safely and so on. And there was already a much better solution than actually riding horses, and that was cars. But if it was not really affordable, people's needs would not be fulfilled. And therefore, you should lower the cost and try to make the product more accessible. But then the follow-up from focus on production was focused on product. So the next stage in the evolution of marketing is the product concept, where the idea is, how can I improve the quality of this product? How can I come up with variations of the product? How can I improve different attributes of the product? And by improving the product and creating variations and having differences in the product to address different consumer groups, either based on purchase power or based on demographics and so on, you would be addressing a broader scope of needs of consumers in different segments. Then, especially after the Second World War, there's the boom in global communication, television, radio, and then you have the selling concept stage. And that's when you have like real massive, aggressive communication. This is when advertising really, really takes off. And it's funny because a lot of the ideas that we still have about what marketing is, that marketing is about communication, is about putting a product out there and stuff like that, comes exactly from this stage of selling in aggressive advertising. Then, especially in the 80s, 90s, we move into a marketing concept era where it becomes a lot more data-driven. A much greater focus is applied on marketing research and understanding in-depth consumers' insights and behaviors and attitudes and perception. And now we're kind of in a stage of social marketing concept, in a stage of value co-creation, where brands don't produce for consumers, but with consumers. And one of the things that most influence this is the development of social media, because social media is a two-way communication. You post something, you know exactly what people are thinking. Now, just before we finish, of course that I focus on a very positive experience, which is in the case of Patagonia. But obviously this entire rationale that I've explained can also be used in a very unethical way for products like cigarettes and fast food and so many other examples that are not even worth commenting. but I will surely make in the series other videos about ethics in marketing or unethical practices in marketing so that you can also understand, because all this rationale of understanding people's needs and coming up with and developing value can obviously be exploited. And as always in my series, I like to finish by recommending music, my dear friend, because I'm a music lover. And the album that I'd like to recommend this time, and I want you to listen to albums, not just single tracks, listen to albums, my dear friend. Music is beautiful. Listen to the album What's the Story? Morning Glory by Oasis. I saw Oasis last year in Edinburgh in Scotland in their tour that they got back. It was amazing, amazing, amazing concert. And I went there with a very dear friend and I had an amazing time. So listen to What's the Story? Morning Glory from Oasis. And I'm going to see you in the next video where I'm going to discuss another marketing concept, discuss another brand, and recommend you more beautiful music. Have a beautiful day, my dear friend.